Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na Thursday, number 10 day for this month of April 2025. My name na Capo Daniel, una own countryman, sense past king, Lukong. Una welcome to another episode of our daily podcast. A program where they bring una the truth, meaningful information, fact-based analysis for help we as we work out for this journey to our freedom, to the freedom of the people of the Ambas Bay. Our good people at home and abroad, our refugees, asylum seekers, political prisoners, IDPs, I bring una all liberation greetings from the People's Right Advocative platform, PRAP. A platform where we put our people them first, we put their right first, we put their aspiration above every other thing, we put patriotism first. The first thing we want to announce now the attack we happened yesterday for hospital roundabout for Bamenda. The ADF, the military wing for the Ague of Sea, they then finally carry out an attack, killing 2 Cameroon, their police people, them for hospital roundabout. Then carry their weapon, one die on the spot, one day on life support for Bamenda General Hospital. One for confirm saying that the ADF then carry out the attack based on information all they get for ground within the forces them, and also the Ague of Sea they then publish the video for the gun with and season for the police tower and killy for their TV channel. Suspiciously, they mute the video because they don't want me people then hear where the soldier they talk for back as we know a very, very controversial group. This type of attack fall within the bounds of a conflict. When war is day, people then supposed to attack na legitimate target them during a war time, no be innocent civilian. Then so this one na an attack will fall within that frame, and we need for acknowledge them. We also need for give credit where credit, and we also need for state our position as PRAP. We would push the non-violence way for establish our right of self-determination. The first thing our people they need for understand now 2 things. This ADF boy the way they carry out the attack for hospital roundabout, they no go carry out the attack na say them fi key Cameroon military them or say they fight against Cameroon for independence. They know very well say killing those 2 Cameroon military people them it no go give we independence. It no go make a dent for Cameroon their military presence in Bamenda. It no get any strategy behind for remove Cameroon for any military position or for any checkpoint. Now boy the way they simply try for take gun because they need those gun them for do it way they do best. Attack our people them, kidnap people them for ransom. So make una understand. The ADF it done lost more than 95% for their weapon them. The one them for Batibo, the few remnants where they be that run go them for inside Babanki. Those one they already be 100% under their control. JC2 weapon the way JC be that hide for Bamenda, they don't know what's the weapon and they. So now a matter of survival for those boy them. They work a look na gun for survive. And this dead way happen for Bamenda, this killing, if we only blame them for the Cameroon government, because for the past 2 years, since PRAP it declares cessation of hostility, we don't lobby soldier them for ground zero, they don't reduce attacks against Cameroon military, reduce IED attacks and other attacks them. Also, lobby other forces, them, other Ambazonian activists and groups that may not over engage for hostility them during this period for give peace a chance. But this peace a chance, it never be given because Paul Atanganji and their cohorts them where they influence the Cameroon government, their policy for this war, where they then gain positions and relevant because of this war, they do everything for convince the Cameroon government so they can get the knife and the cake. So me then go tell the family for this Cameroon, their police people, then say that the knife and the cake that way they for their hand. Cameroon then be very weak and then be very vulnerable for ground zero. It be very easy for our people then for carry out attack. At one point, journalism for Bamenda, they be even show ADF places Cameroon their military checkpoint and they. Tawa will be deputy defense chief when I be see how they focus for eliminate Cameroon their strategic military post. They ran lost all those one back into Cameroon control. So they allow come now get na be their camp. They come where ADF be did it for Insa Batibo. General Efang hasn't been in a place where be then get camp for day. Even Gozang, who struggle game for their hand, it done turn today na a stronghold for Cameroon government. Why? because they focus now to attack our people, kidnap our people, carried out war crimes against our own people. So in as much as this attack it fall within the bounds of legitimate attack during a conflict, military or armed conflict, those motivation for those soldiers them is still remain the same. Those people where they carry out attack now for their own survival, it no get nothing to do with our own people, and it don't reflect with our people their lack of celebration of such attack. For inside a corner, also one of our Ambazonian general them for they call him General never lack. He too he don't fall for Cameroon military their hand. They ambush after they catch one of the Ambazonian fighter where they call Luther. Now he carry them, bring them for their hideout. Then end up for key 3 of our Ambazonian fighter them for day. May their soul rest in peace. Do one Pekin the way they work very closely with Commander Small Pekin. That forces the way they always focus for fight against the enemy. Even when people they seize people they cook with them. This particular boy they never ever engage in any known controversial issue where target our civilians them. Who want for honor their memory and for toxin a soldier then like this way they don't give our people a chance for preserve their identity, for bring Cameroon to their knees to accept our historic identity as coming from our being the former British Southern Cameroons. This war, it then become a war of shame. The loss of life on both sides, no be anything where any person feel celebrate them. These are avoidable deaths, since the Cameroon government it then recognize already. Say we the Southern Cameroon will get an identity, will get the right way stem from our statehood, our territorial integrity. All this killing them now then be unnecessary. We need to sit down and have an amicable, a negotiated settlement to end this war.
Remove Cameroon's symbols from those training vehicles now, directed particularly to the authorities at the University of Boya. Again, the subject is remove Cameroon symbols from those vehicles now.
So, fellow Ambazonians, when I hear na Chris Anu voice that, some person go to wonder, say how today I put Chris Anu voice for our podcast. Yes, he done talk something where I appreciate them and we need to appreciate people them when they make positive chance. So I want to talk for our people. I will talk for English because I write them down. Me then listen and listen very carefully. This is our response to Chris Anu audio statement where he talks to make the Boya University, me then move Cameroon their flag for this new driving school that were open them for day. I have listened carefully to the audio by Chris Anu from start to the end, and I want to begin by acknowledging a positive shift in his tone and message regarding education in our territory. For the first time, he has publicly stated that he does not oppose education and recognizes the legitimacy of the educational system, even if it was established by the Cameroon government. This is a significant step towards, and I applaud him for that clarity and progress. Education is a fundamental right, and no child should be denied learning because of politics or ideology. During the Toronto conference, where all Ambazonian fighting groups, non-fighting groups were present, we adopted, after I fought very hard, this position that education should be sacrosanct and there should be no intervention within educational grounds. So I appreciate this particular part for the statement where Chris Anu, he recognized that education right for our children them. I also agree with Chris Anu in the issue of national symbol. Given the ongoing conflict and the deeply rooted grievances of our people, the Cameroon flag and the state emblems is very problematic because that is the same flag that the bees in their burning of the villages of Kwakwa, killing of Mami Apie, were walking around with that same flag. That flag has represented the policy of Cameroon to assimilate and marginalize us, the Southern Cameroonians. They are widely seen as a symbol of oppression by our people until a permanent and just resolution is reached through a negotiated settlement. These emblems should not be hoisted in our schools. Their presence under the circumstances currently amounts to cultural assimilation. especially when considered along the imposition of bilingualism that the state of Cameroon is trying to impose, that makes French the dominant and primary language that English have to adapt to. A policy many perceive as an instrument to forcibly integrate and erode our Anglo-Saxon identity. Chris Anu call for school authorities to voluntarily remove the Cameroon flag is constructive. It is the right approach. This is how it should be done. This is how we should engage in this type of matters, through civic actions, not intimidation. I strongly agree that school must remain protected spaces. Soldiers, Amazonian fighters should never enter school premises and must all commit to keeping our children and teachers safe from violence. All the Cameroon flags that have been removed from schools, we have done so by simply calling the proprietors, calling the teachers who are in charge, and explaining to them our position without intimidation, without threat, and all of them have complied. Children are not wearing uniform because we have done the same thing. Amazonian activists must learn to be civil and respect the right of everybody, and draw and hold a line for international boundaries on humanitarian laws. Students are out of touch, school grounds are sacrosanct, and nobody should send any Amazonian soldiers there, especially when children and teachers are in active study time. However, I must disagree with one critical part of Chris Anu's message. His directive that Amazonian soldiers should target vehicles bearing the Cameroon flag or those particular vehicles from that institution. This type of statement is dangerous and reckless, particularly because it lacks any caution regarding proportionality or civilian protection. Such messages, if well-intended, must carry caution. We have witnessed in the past how such rhetoric had led to deadly outcomes and tragic loss of innocent lives. No vehicle should ever be targeted in a way that endangers civilian lives. We must never repeat the same mistake or allow the same mistake to be made in our name. Therefore, Chris Anu claimed that Ambazonia is also a colonial territory for Cameroon, is what we should also reflect. Our people should know that freedom and liberation is not based on lies and delusion, but must be based on reality. We must face our reality and be able to confront it. The claim that Ambazonia is a colony of Cameroon reflects a fundamental misunderstanding of our historic case. Ambazonia is not colonized by Cameroon. It was part of the United Nations Trust territory that underwent a flawed and controversial process for unification. Mischaracterizing this reality weakens our legal and diplomatic argument. We must build our case for self-determination on truth, not slogans and propaganda. Previously, we have used slogans and propaganda for the purpose to challenge Cameroon as a symbol of revolt. But when we start taking our own propaganda and slogans as reality, then there is a problem, especially when innocent or illiterate boys on the ground uses it to prey on our innocent people. Equally concerning is his statement implying that teachers or individuals who do not accept Ambazonian independence should be labeled as collaborators. Such rhetoric is deeply troubling. In the past, individuals accused of being collaborators have been brutally killed. We must never go down that path again. We should learn from Ayabacho, whose group murdered 2 innocent people in the name of collaborators, who were innocent civilians. Today he is behind jail and risks carrying a lot of people with him. No one should be threatened or harmed for holding a different opinion. Ambazonian is not yet an independent country. I don't know how many times we'll have to shout for people to understand that it was our propaganda, our slogans for revolt purposes and for recruitment and wartime. We must separate reality from propaganda. It is unjust to punish anyone for not accepting a status that is not even achieved. To say that anybody who don't believe that Ambazonia or treat Ambazonia as an independent country should be labeled as a collaborator is wrong, is immoral, is flawed. And we welcome debate with anybody, anywhere about this topic. Our struggle must be rooted in justice, truth, and reflect for human right and respect for human right. We must win the heart and minds of our people through leadership, not fear. Our advocacy must be based on solid foundation, one that world will respect and support. I've been saying this all along for the past 8 years. When Sako Ikome came out and said that the IG have been invited, he has been invited to address the decolonization committee in the United Nations, and that the Zahari nation have invited Ambazonia for a friendly match, and also in Iran. I stood up to tell the world that he was lying, not because I hate him or I was not part of his group. It's because I know for sure you cannot build a house on a sandy ground. You cannot build a liberation of a people based on lies. Even when you do it as propaganda, you do not transform your own propaganda to your own reality. How much of our youth shall we mislead? It is not necessary. Independence and liberation does not depend on how much you can lie. We cannot substitute our strength. We cannot substitute hard work for the easy path of lying ourselves, talking to ourselves, behaving as a lizard who falls from a rock. Instead of shoving his head and walking away, he said that he was beating his chest that he has done it again. We have seen stupidity in our struggle. Group like the Egg of Sea, who used to lecture Ambazonia when Siseko was arrested, that a leader cannot be in prison and lead, is today celebrating that Ayabacho can now have, is now communicado. He can now speak, so he can now lead us. The same people who were saying Siseko is compromised because he's in prison, today they are saying different things. When Siseko went to America to look for a law firm, the same Ayabacho's group who said that law firm and negotiation cannot free us, today they are saying that negotiation, they will ban this one from negotiation, this one will not go to negotiation. Is it about freeing our people or it's about your own leadership? Who do you think you are to even ban anybody or make any restriction where you don't even have the power? If you have the power to free Ambazonia, you don't even need to talk about people who will be in negotiation or not. You will free the people and give them freedom. If indeed you believe what you say that you will free Ambazonia, why are you talking about negotiation? You don't negotiate independence. You free your people and negotiation only affirms what you have done. We have not been able to free even one classroom. Even one. The small places that we have freed, you have all turned them over to La Republique. You have transformed our people to reject even the struggle that we are fighting for. Some have already established their own government, calling themselves presidents, thinking that they will be the only one to talk for our people. That is their fight. You must talk now only for we. Now we be the correct group. Now we the represent. Now we not be this one. It is not a fight for freedom for these people. This struggle have been plagued by job seekers, not liberators. People who have no iota of what they are talking about. Our people have become victims of a legitimate and honorable struggle meant to give them freedom. It has stripped them off from every freedom that they could ever dream of. Liberators have become their torturers and oppressors. Killers, thieves, murderers, who speak with both mouths, have paraded our street and social media spaces, singing about freedom, no blinking, when they don't blink when they murder our own people. They are more oppressive than the enemy. They ban taxi colors. If you are talking about Pol Pot, who destroy his own people, killing all teachers in Cambodia. We have seen worse in Ambazonia. My people, we have seen worse. But if you hear my voice today, there is hope. All the fools, the mumus, the ambazamzam, you will see them no more. They will bury themselves in their own graves. Ayabacho have put himself in prison. Today we are seeing evidence that Julius Nye, who was not considered as part of the ADF command structure, was given instruction to JC that we have seen building a hotel in Bamenda. And he's not ashamed. You think that he will be ashamed of that connection. So you, Julius Nye, who is a professor in the university, you are behind this guy who killed and murdered a cripple in Bamenda. You are there talking and making arrangements for fighters to close the border. We all know what happened. Nothing happened. So how many million did you people take from the Ague of Sea people that you want to close the border for Cameroon, announcing a border closure that did not even happen even in Batibo? I mean, even in Batibo, it did not happen. Not even in Bui. How much money did you withdraw from the bank, from the Ague of Sea? So you people are evil, corrupt, wicked, murderers, anything that somebody can call. You have made Atanjipo a happy man. You people, he needs you people to be there. But our people need something better. They need pragmatism and real solution for their oppression. They need their freedom. The little that freedom they gave us have been taken away by you people. By you people. So fellow Ambazonians, today we have seen an attack in Bamenda by the ADF. Like as I said, it is an attack for survival. The boys simply are cornered. They don't have weapons and they need weapons to fight against our own people. They need weapons to enforce the ban against taxi. We know what Ague of Sea stands for. You know what they stands for. So our people should continue to stand up for our freedom. The pathway for independence is not through that radicalism. The pathway for genuine independence, attainable independence that will be positive and bring progressive change to our people, is the peace plan paper that make concessions for guarantees to access to our right of self-determination through a future referendum. This is the only plan and the only roadmap that we have. Those who are shouting and screaming at the top of their voices against us are those who have lost their way and are no longer active or progressive forces within our liberation struggle. They are those promoting crimes against humanity. They are those who want to tag Ambazonia with terrorism. Ayabacho have said so by himself. He will end up in jail, and he is where he belongs. So we must move forward with our people. We must continue to engage for positive transformation of this conflict to an expectant end that will guarantee our people their right to self-determination. God bless you all. Capo Daniel, looking out for you, signing off.